Ed and his friends were on cloud nine. They had done it. They had won the state championship. They went out to celebrate, Ed taking his father's brand new truck. Little did he know, his life would forever change. Thaddeus was a quiet guy. This was his first football game. His parents forgot to pick him up, again, so he was left to walk home alone through the dark alleys. Coach Leo was just as ecstatic about the win as were his team. He pulled off at an intersection on his way out to call his beloved wife and let her know what was going on. Ed and his friends were talking so lively and energetically they failed to see a car pulled off to the side nearby. Suddenly, boom, crash, shatter, everything was still. Without checking on the wrecked vehicle in front of him, the terrified Ed backed up and sped off, checking to see if everyone in his truck was okay. Thaddeus stood stunned in the shadows. What had he just witnessed? He saw a fearful gleam in Ed's eye as he sped off. He scuttled up to the car, and there lay Coach Leo, phone laying nearby, bloodied and not breathing. He froze. What should he do? He backed up quickly and rushed home, calling 911 as he ran. The next day, Ed and his posse were gathered in a locker room, talking about the accident. Ed said, "Dude, when did it happen? Why am I just now hearing about this?" To which he got the reply, "My mom is a dispatcher. She said some kid named Thaddeus called it in just after 10. Just then, Thaddeus sauntered by, still shaking from the scene he witnessed the night before. Ed shouted from his corner, "Hey you, stop where you are. Do you know what happened to Coach?" Thaddeus stuttered out a confused response. I mean, you... His voice trailed off. Ed grabbed his shirt collar and flung him into a corner, getting his face close. "What did you see? Who did it?" And other similar questions were pummeled at Thaddeus. Ed had no mercy. Thaddeus squeaked, "It's over now. You really don't want to know, do you? I mean, what's good is it gonna do anyway?" "Coach was like a father to me," Ed replied. "Tell me what you know." His anger was rising quickly. Thaddeus tried to escape, but Ed stood in his way. "You don't know, do you?" Ed began to taunt. "You just want the attention, you little scum." Thaddeus shook and nervously fingered the books he was clutching to his chest. What are you saying?" he managed. Ed replied, "You're just an idiot who wants some time in the spotlight. I see how it is. You are good for nothing anyway." As he began to call on his friends to help him pummel Thaddeus, he eked out, "I know it was you." Red with rage, Ed spun around. "What did you say?" T whispered, "You are the one who hit Coach Leo and just ran away without even checking to see if he was okay." "You'd better not say anything like that again, or it'll be the last thing you ever say," threatened Ed. "You're such a liar. You know it wasn't me. You just want to get me in trouble so you're one step closer to the top." Thaddeus replied, "You wanted to know what I saw, and I told you. Now let me go." Satisfied with his threat, Ed took a step back so Thaddeus could slide by and rush to the bathroom to vomit. Ed stood stunned. Could it really be? He mused to himself. He shook his head and rejoined his friends, sure Thaddeus must be crazy, hoping he would keep quiet so he would not have to carry out his threats. After a somber day at school, Ed returned home. Slamming his bedroom door behind him and throwing his backpack on the ground, he opened the newspaper laying nearby. Looking at the report about the accident, he recognized the spot where it happened. Time was dead on, too. It couldn't be. He threw himself across the couch and sobbed. What could he do now? Thaddeus was telling the truth. He looked out at his father's truck. The paint scratched on the front matched the picture in the article. He was going to get caught. Ed knew what the right thing to do would be. He called up his friend who had been with him and told them everything. They were terrified. Ed figured it was his fault, and maybe turning himself in would save the others from having any repercussions. Sneaking out of his house so as to not alert his parents, he drove to the police station and told all.